Well, it was a week of historic snowfall in Buffalo as a winter storm pounded western New York with some 7 feet of snow in parts of the city. And so for the Bills, one of the more surreal chapters in their recent history culminates tonight some 270 miles west of Buffalo. And if it is free, they will come. Bills fans filing into Ford Field here in Detroit. It's the NFL on CBS. We are in Detroit here inside Ford Field, a game that neither of these teams expected to be playing here. 5-5 Buffalo against a 2-8 New York Jets. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the NFL on CBS with Solomon Wilcots. I'm Spiro Dedes. It does seem trivial to talk about football with what the folks in Western New York have been dealing with. Very simply, this has been a week unlike any other for the Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo is known as a city of good neighbors, so it's no surprise that a team and a town have really come closer together under such trying circumstances. Many of the players have told us how they've been rescued by neighbors, driven to safety on snowmobiles, and now that they've dug their way out of their homes, let's see if they can dig their way out of a 2-game losing streak.
Well, no one knows the city of Buffalo quite like Steve Tasker, longtime Buffalo Bill. He's with us here in Detroit. Steve?
Hey, Spiro, this game comes down to 3 things: distraction, preparation, and rest. The Buffalo Bills got plenty of rest from their last game, but they've been through the meat grinder to get to this point. In fact, I asked a number of people in the Bills organization, including head coach Doug Marrone, who said it best when asked if this team is going to be distracted and unprepared or whether they're going to be refreshed and youthfully exuberant about getting out of Buffalo. He said, "We don't know, but we're going to find out in just a few minutes." Spiro?
And Steve, lost in all the talk of the snow is the fact that this is a game that Buffalo, Solomon, simply has to have. They've lost 2 straight, and suddenly all kinds of issues with their offense.
In 2 consecutive losses, the team really has struggled inside the red zone on offense. During those last 2 games, they've gone 0 for 6 down inside the red zone. The offense has hit a flat line, going 7 consecutive quarters without scoring a touchdown. Red zone turnovers have been a problem. Now, as for the New York Jets, Michael Vick has added stability to the entire team. He says instead of focusing on the big plays tonight, he simply wants to focus on the little things. That's protecting the football and eliminating turnovers.
And tonight's game being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. So, Spiro Dedes, Solomon Wilcots, Steve Tasker, our entire CBS crew from Ford Field in Detroit. So much unknown with how Buffalo will come out, as Steve just pointed out. A team that enters the night 5-5, and right now, right on the outer edge of that updated postseason picture in the AFC, there is Doug Marrone, the Bronx-born head coach, and his counterpart across the way, Rex Ryan. And so that seat continues to get a little hotter. Both of these teams well rested. 15 days since the Jets last played. They ended that 8-game losing streak with a Week 10 home win over the Steelers. And 11 days since Buffalo last played that Thursday night loss in Miami. Bills won the toss, elect to defer, and so the Jets with Percy Harvin will play it from deep in their own end zone. Harvin across the 10, takes a hard hit right at the 12-yard line. And tough field position for that man to start. Michael Vick onto the field, a 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-1. Solomon's taken over as that starting quarterback for Geno Smith.
Yeah, in those 2 games, they have not turned the football over, Spiro, and so that's something that Michael Vick really has given his football team. Rex Ryan told us that more than anything, he wants his quarterback to protect the football and do better than what they had done offensively when Geno Smith was the starting quarterback.
The Jets offense has not scored more than 25 points in a game this season. We'll see how that time off does them here tonight. This is Chris Ivory, the 50-year running back, on the first take. Minimal pickup of a yard. DeBrickashaw Ferguson headlining the front for the New York Jets. 4th overall pick back in 06. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. Backs and receivers, no Bilal Powell tonight. He is a scratch under the weather. Percy Harvin, who has had some exploits, Solomon, in this building. Tonight making just his 4th appearance as a Jet. 2nd and 9 from the 15. Vic, quick little strike near side. That's Harbin. Trying to get him a little bit more involved. Minimal pickup of a couple. Tackle made by the defensive end, Jerry Hughes. This is a vaunted front, arguably the best in the NFL. We just saw Hughes, Marcel Darius. What a season he has had. Tied for 4th in the NFL in sacks, 1st among defensive tackles. Preston Brown, their stud rookie linebacker, and their leading tackler entering this one tonight. And Corey Graham making yet another start. Pro Bowler in 2011. No Leotis McKelvin, as he has done for the season. That fractured ankle in Miami. You saw Jim Schwartz, former coach here in Detroit of the Lions for the last 5 years. 3rd and 7 from the 17. Vic has time, guns over the middle, deflected high in the air, and what a play by Harvin Solomon just to get to it. And what could very well have been an interception.
Looked like Nickell Robey broke on this pass from Michael Vick. And take a look at Vick's. You see, look where the head is. And if anywhere he goes, that's where you want to break on the ball. Nickell Robey is able to do that. Nearly intercepted the ball. It took Percy Harvin coming back to it to prevent the interception.
Bills defense 8th in the NFL in scoring defensive line, just over 20 points per game. Ryan Quigley on to punt, and not a good one, as Buffalo will have a short field to work with. Fred Jackson watching it take a Bills bounce, a 27-yard punt from Quigley. Here comes Kyle Orton. What a start he had. 2 game-winning drives, Solomon, over his first 3 starts. Took over week 5 for E.J. Manuel. But they have had some issues, as you pointed out, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he talked about it. He said he doesn't want to overthink it. He wants to get back to just being comfortable and confident playing from the pocket. More importantly, they've moved the football, but they've got to do better at punching it in down inside the red zone.
Fred Jackson, who has been dealing with a groin injury, has sat 2 of the last 3 weeks. Here he is back on the field, takes a hard hit right at the 40. Inside that 40-yard line by the Brooklyn native, Jaquan Jarrett, who had that incredible performance against the Steelers. Eric Wood, one of the best centers in the NFL, 6th year in the league, lines up right in front of Orton. We mentioned Fred Jackson. Buffalo hoping that he can give them some more balance with the running game. That has just not been the case. C.J. Spiller, of course, has been out since week 7 with injury. 2nd and 4, play action pass. Orton, little screen. Here's to Jackson inside the 35, lunges ahead to the 32. First down pickup of 6 as Buffalo moves the chains. Oh, we mentioned about the defensive front for Buffalo. This one not too shabby. Muhammad Wilkerson probably has been the best Jet on either side of the field the last 2 years. David Harris has been their leading tackler 6 of the last 7 years. So steady in the middle for Rex Ryan. And the back end, this has been the Achilles heel, but what a performance from Jarrett. First NFL start a couple of weeks ago against the Steelers. AFC's Defensive Player of the Week. Sack, forced fumble, and his first 2 career interceptions. Anthony Booby Dixon on the field gives Jackson a blow. Here he is on 1st and 10 as he gets to the 30-yard line. And Solomon, they are inching closer to the red zone where they have had just monster issues offensively.
Yeah, and the answers to those red zone problems, we talked about it. Doug Marrone's group 0 for 6 down inside the red zone over the last 2 games. They lost both games. I think they've got to get back to really being able to power the run game. I think Fred Jackson being back healthy is going to help them do that. And Booby Dixon has to be able to power the run game also.
2nd and 8. Dixon alone setback. Orton is going to take a shot near side. And the officials say it is a completed pass. That's Robert Woods, the 2nd-year target. Tackle made by Darren Wallace, 16 yards and a first down.
Remember Orton said he had to get back to being comfortable and confident. That throw, the back shoulder fade to Woods, this is timing. This is about rhythm and tempo and having a good feel for the game. It's something I think was absent from Kyle Orton's game over the last 2 weeks. You can see 21 straight drives on offense without a touchdown.
Last time was in that opening quarter against Kansas City at home back in week 10. Here is Dixon inside the 10. Football came loose. No signal yet from the officials. Jets say they have it. What's the call here?
Saying he may be down by contact. I'm not so sure.
And it looks as though Doug Marrone and Buffalo will maintain possession It was a run of 9 yards by Dixon.
Oh, there's the hit to the knee. Okay, arm down, then the ball came out. And we said coming in at the top in our open that turnovers down inside the red zone has been part of the problem. There you can see he does have possession of the ball. When the forearm makes contact with the ground, that would signify down by contact.
2nd and 1. Jackson back on the field. Bills needing to get to the 4 for a first down. This one will depend on the spot. Clock continues to run. We wondered how Buffalo would fare tonight. Limited practice time. They went 8 days in between practices as the officials have signaled 1st and goal for Buffalo, but not a bad offensive start.
Spiro, let us not forget that 4 weeks ago when these two teams met, Buffalo really put it on the New York Jets. They won by 20 points in that game, and they got off to a very fast start, putting the ball into the end zone.
You see Buffalo's red zone ranks. Here is Dixon, inches closer. Spotted right around the 2-yard line. Buffalo 9th in the NFL, Solomon, in terms of trips in the red zone, but they are dead last in that touchdown rate of just under 39%.
Very last in the National Football League in terms of red zone production, where we said they had fallen off 7 straight quarters without a touchdown, going all the way back to a couple of weeks ago in their game against Kansas City. They scored in the first quarter of that game, and they have not scored a touchdown since.
8th play of this game-opening drive. Orton, little pitch play. Here's Jackson. Cuts back to the 10. Jets able to recover. Jackson barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Excellent coverage and recovery by the Jets. The safety, DeJuan Landry, and Quentin Coples leading the charge.
Yeah, and then it's Chris Gregg, number 89. He tries to get the block there, but look, Allen turns the play back into the defense. Excellent play, containing the football, forcing Fred Jackson to cut it up inside. That's where there were more defenders to help come away with the tackle. Good red zone defense right now by the New York Jets.
Well, can this Jet defense that had their best performance of the season a couple of weeks ago against the Steelers hold here? All kinds of movement pre-snap. And this one against Buffalo.
Oh, plays like this will certainly thwart your ability to score down inside the red zone. Well, you know Doug Marrone knows he wants to be able to break this jinx early on, but see the movement? And Scott Chandler moved, tight end, lined up on the left side. Let's see what they come away, crucial 3rd down play.
Well, Doug Marrone told us yesterday, all your faults as an offense are magnified in the red zone. Where do they go here? 3rd and goal, Orton end zone, it is caught! Woods for the Buffalo touchdown!
Now this is just execution, and it's going to be a good throw. Now take a look at the vision. There you go, right there. He sees Woods all the way. Back shoulder, where the defender, David Harris, took away the front side throw. It's just excellent throw, but what an adjustment by Robert Woods to go back shoulder, get his body turned around, and haul it in for his quarterback, Kyle Lord.
Well, for anyone wondering how the Bills would start this game after the week that they've had, you could put those fears to rest. 7-yard strike. Dan Carpenter on for the point after. And the Bills throwing down the gauntlet, jumping out to the 7-0 lead. Orton to Woods. And a second-year receiver puts Buffalo in front. Well, so much for that long drought. 21 straight drives between scoring for Buffalo's offense. 7-yard strike. Orton to that man, Woods, as he comes through with his first touchdown in quite some time. Woods, only his 3rd all season. Percy Harvin watching his teammate field that football. It was John Connor, the fullback, as he crosses the 20. Michael Vick and the Jets offense back onto the field when we come back. A little toastier here at Ford Field than it is at this hour at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo. And how about these Bills fans that have tried to fill up this stadium in what is a makeshift home game. 7-0 Buffalo lead. Pitch play to Ivory on 1st and 10. Lost his footing as he tries to cut back. So, Solomon, what about the Jets? They're playing out the string, of course, only 2-8, but a much different vibe around this group with Vick under center and that win over the Steelers.
Yeah, I think it's a different team than the one that the Bills face 4 weeks ago. Yeah, Michael Vick has brought stability to the team. I think, more confidence than what Geno Smith were able to provide. And then Percy Harvin, an electric player, out on the corner. But that win over the Pittsburgh Steelers has, I think, infused his team with more confidence. Michael Vick has said it's time to go out and prove that we're a better football team.
2nd and 14. Chris Johnson lines up in the slot. Vick's pass is incomplete. Off the hands of Johnson, who was covered beautifully by that Buffalo defense. Among the players, Graham and Bradham. It'll be 3rd and 14.
Well, how about the Buffalo Bills, though? They've come off and gotten off to the fast start that they talked about. And they really got off to a fast start in that game 4 weeks ago. And Doug Marrone knows that his team has had cabin fever. They've been snowed in, and many of the players we talked to were eager to get on the field to play tonight's game.
Jets 29th in the NFL in scoring. 2nd most 3-and-outs in the league. Vick from the gun on 3rd and long. Vick steps up, flushed out, off-balance throw, too low and incomplete, intended for Jeff Cumberland, the tight end. And once again, the Jets forced to punt.
Well, remember, this is the best pass-rushing defense in the National Football League, even against a mobile quarterback like Michael Vick. You have to contain him. He gets out, but Michael Vick doesn't reset his feet. So for all the athleticism, for all the mobility, fundamentals still have to take place if you're going to throw the ball with a high level of accuracy.
Well, here is Quigley, who's had a pretty good year. 4th in the league with a net average of 42.5. Shanked his first, just 27 yards. And set up Buffalo with a short field. Fred Jackson signals fair catch. And that's where Orton and company will start. Much better punt from Quigley, 51 yards. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Oh, with NFL Mobile, you could stream live local Sunday afternoon, primetime games, and NFL Red Zone right on your smartphone. Learn more right now at NFL.com/mobile. Ford Field, downtown Detroit, where the wind gusts were violent today. You can feel the buildings shake around downtown. Luckily, we're indoors here. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcott, Steve Tasker. The rest of our CBS crew, 1st and 10. Buffalo lines up just outside the 30. Here's Bryce Brown. Minimal pickup. Solomon, as we go back to that very impressive game-opening drive for the Bills.
Kyle Orton said he wanted to be relaxed and comfortable to get back to playing at a very high level. He goes 3 for 3 on the drive. He did come out very confident. And how about Robert Woods making plays for his quarterback, even on the back shoulder throw? So Kyle Orton getting off to a good start, breaking that streak of 21 consecutive drives without scoring a touchdown.
2nd and 7. They line up just inside 35. Here is Brown again, had that critical fumble in that game against the Chiefs.
Number 79 offense, 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's Eric Pierce. Pete Morelli is our referee tonight.
We're going to see 79 right there. Working against Sheldon Richardson.
Pierce, the 9th-year guard alongside Wood. So 2nd and 17 after the penalty. We come up on 6 minutes to play in this first quarter. Jackson, the long setback. Orton from the gun. Some pre-snap movement. Could be a free play for the Bills. Orton fires far side. That's the tight end, Lee Smith, who backs up Scott Chandler. We'll see what the penalty is here. Looked like it'll be against the Jets. Pass play goes for a dozen. And this one against Buffalo.
Wow.
Offside, 98 defense. The penalty is declined. Okay. 3rd down.
Morelli faking everyone out, so it is indeed against the Jets. It's on Copels. So the 12-yard first down pass play stands, and they move the chains.
The one thing the Buffalo Bills believe they can really do better on offense, and that is run the football. Last year, they were one of the best rushing offenses in the National Football League.
Sally, apparently it was against Buffalo, so 3rd and 5. After that offensive false start, the pass from Morton near side intended for Sammy Watkins is incomplete. Coverage by Darren Walls. Morelli first said against Buffalo, then signaled against the Jets, but it was indeed a 3rd and 5, and now Buffalo forced to punt.
And they can't execute on the back shoulder fade to Sammy Watkins. Good coverage by Walls.
There's Curley standing back deep from his own 15-yard line. And Colton Schmidt on for his first task of the night. Curley watches it take a bounce. He'll play it from just inside the 20. Curley finds the edge, crosses the 30. Still going. Curley's got some real estate. And finally brought down inside Buffalo territory at the 40-yard line. There is a penalty marker behind the play. Manny Lawson somehow got him around the ankles. 48-yard punt. Curley runs it back for 41.
Well, even Rex Ryan was shocked and surprised.
Number 27 of the kicking team voluntarily went out of bounds during the kick. The 5 yards will be added to the end of the run. Timeout.
So excellent return by Curley. Jets looking for their first points on CBS. A look at our fabulous CBS crew. Producer Jonathan Siegel sitting in for Vic Frank, Chris Fenson, Andy Freeman, Justin Haley, and the rest of the crew here. 7-0 Buffalo. Short field, best starting position that the Jets have had. Here is Chris Johnson, the 3-time Pro Bowler. Inside the 35, Jets trying to cut into this early deficit as Johnson picks up 5 on the ground. Let's visit again for more on the Jets now. Steve Tasker. Steve?
Game being on the road for the Jets. It's a normal road game at a neutral site, and they got an extra day to prepare. Plus, they did not have to play in the elements in Buffalo, so the Jets getting a couple of breaks on a lot of different fronts, just as the Bills got the worst end of that.
Little pitch play. Curley took the direct snap, and then a little pitch to Johnson. Buffalo trying to recover defensively. Now, everyone talked about how the Bills were affected. Jets had to change around their travel plans as well, Solomon, as we take a look at some trickery here from Marty Morningwing.
Well, they can run the ball in any kind of weather, but even in talking to Michael Vick, he said there's no wind inside this stadium at Ford Field. It's not a wet football. And they kind of winked at us a little bit as if they knew they were catching a break coming here to Detroit to play this game indoors.
Percy Harvin lines up in the I formation. Said only a decoy. This is the fullback counter. Wide load has a Jet first down to the 15-yard line as he gashes them for 13.
Well, this is what the Jets can do, and they can do it very well. 5th best rushing attack in the National Football League. And look, they're just handed on a straight dive to the fullback. He cuts it back. He breaks tackles at the line of scrimmage. Their ability to power into the second level, if they can get this element of their offense going, it'll go a long way in slowing down that vaunted Buffalo Bills pass rush tonight.
Rare carry for the fullback Connor. Keep in mind, no Powell tonight. Their third running back, a late scratch due to illness. 1st and 10. Vic from the gun is passed through the hands of the intended receiver. It's incomplete. Looking for Percy Harvin. Well, Thursday Night Football returns in 2 weeks. Romo and the Cowboys. Big win last night. They'll take on the Bears as 2 of the NFL's storied franchises meet in prime time. Thursday Night Football returns Thursday, December the 4th, 8 Eastern, kick live on NFL Network. Early struggles for Vic as you see incomplete on 4 of his first 5 passes, only a couple of yards. 2nd and 10 from the Bills 15. Draw play. This is Johnson. Still elusive. On pace, Solomon, for by far the fewest rushing yards of his career, but pretty good as a number 2 option.
Yeah, they're getting it going now with this read option look where expect Michael Vick at some point to keep it, but with the defensive end staying to the outside, that leaves a seam on the inside. He's just going to ride it and give it to Chris Johnson. And so the read option, I think, is a great element in this offense with Michael Vick. He still has that rare ability, more rushing yards than any quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
Broke that record in Buffalo. And a historic moment. Penalty markers whistle that play dead.
Neutral zone infraction, number 55. Defense, 5-yard penalty will result of the play will be a first down.
Jerry Hughes, remember this defense, they almost play the run on the way to the quarterback. He's trying to get a good jump against that left tackle, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, who's talented in his own right. And Hughes wants to get to the quarterback. All 4 of these guys, the front 4, relentless in their ability to pass rush and come away with sacks.
1st and goal after the penalty. They mark it inside the 5. And once again, Vic from the shotgun. Bills coming. Here comes Williams. And he gets to Vic around the ankles from the back. 11th sack of the season for the Pro Bowler Williams.
These guys are athletic. We already saw Manny Lawson making a play on special teams, but there he is coming off the top. And even though they get a deep set by the right tackle, he's still able to just speed around the corner to get to a very athletic Michael Vick. And Mario Williams is 11th sack on the season. They don't have to blitz to get pressure on the quarterback in Buffalo.
And that moves Williams now into third in the NFL with his 11 sacks. Second and goal, fake handoff to Harbin. Bills defense wasn't fooled, and guess who? It's Williams again. The three-time Pro Bowler gets to Vick after a pickup of only one.
Well, this defensive line, they can make plays. And I think if you're Michael Vick, you have to understand against this defensive front, you've got to get rid of the ball very quickly. You don't get to go deep into your progression to the fourth or fifth guy. And that's Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, former head coach here in Detroit. And his team leads the league in sacks for a reason. They can come after you with the best of them.
Schwartz and Buffalo a winner here back in Week 5 against the Lions. Third and goal. Vick going through his progressions, going end zone, nearly picked. Incomplete. Graham had it. And a sigh of relief on that Jet sideline.
Well, this secondary, they're well coordinated with the front four. We talk about getting pressure on the quarterback. Now watch the head of Michael Vick. Comes to his left, comes to his right. Now he comes all the way back to the center in time for Graham to cut underneath the intended receiver. Looked like he was trying to go to Jason Morrow, his intended tight end.
27-yard attempt from Nick Folk. One-time Pro Bowler as a rookie with Dallas. And Folk is good on the chip shot field goal to get the Jets offense onto the board. 7-3 Buffalo. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, people affected by severe weather and other disasters need help now. To support those impacted by disasters like the winter storms in Buffalo and countless other crises, you can text Red Cross to 90999 to give just $10 to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. CBS cares, and our thoughts with those folks in Western New York. The death toll at 13 as of a couple of days ago. Just incredible devastation in that part of the country. And these Bills fans coming from all over to support Buffalo in what is a makeshift home game tonight here in Detroit. They fielded off a bounce. That's Marcus Easley, one of the backup wide receivers, as he is brought down just short of the 20 return of 13. Let's check in again down on the field with Steve Tasker.
Yeah, and as you read that promo about the storm in Buffalo, it was both catastrophic and affirming as the people around neighbors and neighborhoods came out of the woodwork to help their neighbors and to help people through the storm. And also, as catastrophic as it was, the well wishes and prayers and thoughts that came from around the country were also so much appreciated, and it meant so much to the people, and still does to the people of Western New York.
Well said, Steve. 1st and 10 inside the 20. Orton play action over the middle. It is caught out of the backfield. Looks like Chris Gregg, the tight end, for a pickup of 5. We visited Salmon with Orton, the head coach, and Kyle had an interesting story. His wife and kids were back home in her hometown of Baton Rouge. That was the plan before the storm. Orton, of course, wasn't as lucky. He lived in one of the harder hit areas in Orchard Park. He walked down the street, said, no exaggeration, it took him about 40 minutes to walk 400 yards to his teammate Eric Wood's house in the same neighborhood. So he started running low on food towards the end of the week, and that was an issue that a lot of these Bills players had, of course, with the thousands of others in that part of the country, as Brown picks up a short pickup of a yard.
And we talk about Doug Marrone, even the head coach for the Bills, this entire Bills team, they all rallied together with the community there in Buffalo.
(7-3) Buffalo. Start of the second quarter. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox, Steve Tasker, rest of our CBS crew from Ford Field in Detroit. 3rd and 4 play for Orton and company. 7-yard touchdown on their opening drive to Robert Woods. Jets answering with a chip shot field goal, and that is where we stand. 7-3 to start the second.
Remember, they moved around a lot on that defense.
Orton has time, airs it out up the slot. Intended for Woods. It falls incomplete. So Buffalo will punt. Salmon, we mentioned some of the issues that they've had to deal with. So many parts of this story. We spoke to Doug Marrone. He was effusive in his praise of the Lions organization for their help.
Yeah, he was very complimentary of the Detroit Lions. They said the team helped with the transition, providing all the resources they needed, all the video equipment, meeting rooms, etc., for his team to feel right at home. Remember, they didn't get to even be on the practice field until they arrived here in Detroit on Friday.
Another punt from Schmidt. And a fair catch signaled by Curley from just inside the 40. Couple of penalty markers come in behind the play. 36-yard punt. And we wait the call from referee Pete Morelli.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Number 10 is the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on T.J. Graham of the Jets. Coming up Thanksgiving Day, right next to the turkey and stuffing and a pumpkin pie. Chicago, Detroit, right here in a Motown showdown. All begins with JB, Tony Bart, Coach, and Boomer on a special holiday edition of the NFL Today at noon. You'll get a special look at Jared Allen doing some wonderful work, helping to build some homes for vets, all part of the Wounded Warrior Project. Just one of the many stories we'll be sharing with you on Thanksgiving. Here's Michael Vick under center, just 1 for 6. Incomplete on 5 straight attempts. Aubrey the lone setback, Vick under pressure, and nearly threw it right to the defender on the play. That was the safety, Aaron Williams. And Vick Salmon looking out of sorts here at the start.
Oh, how about the pressure provided by Jerry Hughes? Look, it's just going to be a rollout, but watch, Hughes gets right in the face of Michael Vick, right there, forcing the early throw. That ball nearly intercepted. And look, Williams is coming. Jerry Hughes is coming. This is the 3rd time Michael Vick has nearly been intercepted in the early going of the game.
You see the 6 consecutive incompletions, 3rd straight start for Vick. After taking over for Geno Smith against these Bills in Week 8 with a short pass to Ivory. The 50-year runner, they pick up 5 yards. Well, easy to say he's struggling, but this is a very tough defense to go against.
Yeah, we talked about it. He knows that this team is going to come after it. See, that one was nearly intercepted. This is a low throw because he doesn't set his feet. He doesn't see Corey Graham coming over. That ball's nearly picked off as well. He said that this is a defense. He knows they're going to make their plays against him. He said, I have to hang in there and be able to make plays when the opportunity arrives. So when a receiver's open, Michael Vick simply has to hang in there and throw the ball after him.
35, Vick flushed out. Going to use that mobility of his. Lunges close to the first down. He's forced out by Preston Brown, the rookie linebacker. Appears to be a couple of yards short as they will punt.
Well, more importantly, he's got to protect the football. He's rolling out. Kyle Williams giving chase. Look, the linebackers, Nigel Bradham, Preston Brown, very fast, playing for their defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz.
3rd 3 and out for the Jets offense as they continue to trail 7-3. Early stages, 2nd quarter. Quigley responding with a 51-yard punt. After that shank early, and set up Buffalo's first touchdown. Fred Jackson takes on a hard hit right after the catch. 48-yard punt and a return of 5 yards. 7-3 Buffalo. You're watching the NFL on CBS. I'll get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app. It's the fastest app for sports fans. Download now the CBS Sports app. 7-3 Buffalo. Couple of minutes gone by, 2nd quarter, 1st and 10 from inside the 20. Orton play action, fakes right, near side pass over the outstretched arms of Fred Jackson and falls incomplete. We mentioned that long scoring drought, Solomon, that they addressed and ended with that opening drive, and it seems to have settled some nerves for them.
Yeah, it kind of ended that red zone hex that had been hovering over the Buffalo Bills and their quarterback, Kyle Orton, needing to get the ball into the end zone for his head coach, Doug Marrone. Now, remember, this is a team in the midst of a playoff race. Getting back to playing very well on offense with the kind of pass rush they have and the kind of defense that they have, the offense has to be more productive if they're going to be considered a serious contender to make the postseason.
2nd and 10. Orton throwing again near side, again unable to locate Woods. Excellent defensive play from that Jets secondary. That's Darren Walls, who sat the last couple of games with a calf injury. Steps into the passing lane.
Now tell me, if you loft this ball, if you put air under it, this is going to be a completion. But he throws it on the line as Walls cuts underneath. That's why he can make a play. If you throw that ball with a higher trajectory, Woods is going to run under it and away from Walls, and the Bills are going to have themselves a big play. You have to have a better throw from Kyle Orton on that play.
And you wonder just how good this Jet defense could have been this season if that secondary was up to par. All kinds of injuries. And even beyond that, just some very poor play. 3rd and 10. Orton hit on the release. Far side, he finds the rookie Watkins. His first reception, first down Buffalo. A pickup of 17 yards.
Oh, this is just going to be a much better throw from Kyle Orton. Remember, against double coverage. Look, DeJuan Landry underneath, playing over the top as well. And look, they're still able to make the completion with Adams over the top, Landry underneath. Still a good throw tends to beat good coverage.
Watkins bothered the last couple of games with that groin injury. Doug Marrone saying that he looked explosive this week in practice, really for the first time since that Week 7 injury. Keep it on the ground to Fred Jackson. Minimal pickup of a couple of yards. What a year it's been for Jackson, for Watkins rather. That game-winning touchdown Week 7 to beat Minnesota, and a career performance against the Jets, nearly 160 yards, saw him in Week 8.
Yeah, and he's a guy that I think was at the top of this rookie draft class of wide receivers. Over the last couple of weeks, though, have been hampered with that growing injury. I believe that, this time off, I think it's allowed them time to heal. 11 games, or I should say 11 days since they played their last game, and now he appears to be back.
Play action from Orton, 2nd and 8, throws off his back foot. That's the backup running back, Boobie Dixon, crosses the 45-yard line, appears to have enough for another Buffalo first down. And T.J. Barnes, who was a late addition to their active roster tonight, able to make the tackle.
The offense is going now because Kyle Orton is getting going, as we saw on that very first possession. He's starting to really read the defense well, making better throws, and really making good decisions as to when to check the ball down to his backs coming out of the backfield.
See the balance between the run and pass. Dixon again. Solid, what a wild year it's been for Buffalo. When you think back, the 2-0 start, E.J. Manuel then struggles. They make the quarterback change. The snowstorm, everything they've had to deal with the last couple of weeks. And oh, by the way, a change in ownership. Of course, the late Ralph Wilson and his family relinquishing ownership earlier this season.
I remember they began the first half of the season 5-3 at the halfway point. They did replace E.J. Manuel as their starting quarterback, and then had worked their way to a 5-1 record with Kyle Orton as their starter. They've lost 2 in a row. They're now 5-5, and they've got to begin to dig their way out.
Well, the feeling is if they have any hope of getting in a very competitive AFC postseason, they have to win this one tonight. Scott Chandler with his first reception. They move inside Jets territory. A strong connection between the Wilson family. Ralph Wilson, their late owner, who spent and lived most of his life, saw him here in Detroit. And actually that win here against the Lions earlier in the season was the final game that the Wilson family owned Buffalo before relinquishing rights to Terry Padula and his family.
So how fitting is it that the Buffalo Bills have found a home, or a second home, here in Detroit, the home of their late owner, Ralph Wilson.
And you see what Orton has done. He is spreading the wealth. 8 completions to 7 different receivers. And this will be the 8th play of the drive, 3rd and 4. Orton fires. It is caught. What appears to be short. It's Chris Hogan, the Ramapo, New Jersey native. Grew up just a couple of short miles from MetLife Stadium. Appears to be about a half-yard short.
Well, there you see him. He's going to go out to his right side. Makes the catch. Chris Hogan, nicknamed 7-11 because he's always open. Even Doug Marrone likes the play that Chris Hogan has brought to this offense.
You like this decision?
I do like it. And I know the word aggressive is a sensitive word for many of the Buffalo fans, but Doug Marrone, he'll go for it.
And Marrone has been criticized for being a little bit too conservative, and it looks like the Jets hold here. Rex Ryan nearly jumped out of his sneakers on the top of your screen, and it looks like the Jets are going to get off the field as Dixon comes up short.
Now, I'll say this. I'm okay for him going for it. Why? Because the Buffalo Bills defense right now is playing dominant. And even though you go for it here, and if you don't make it, you expect your defense to hold. You don't mind giving the Jets field position right here.
So Marrone's decision to go for it on 4th down comes up empty. I'm certainly confident in this Bills defense as they turn it over on downs. Vic under center, 1st and 10 from his own 45. Vic fakes the handoff, fires over the middle. It's in Buffalo territory. That's Curley. Had the nifty return earlier, Solomon, as we go back to the 4th down hold by the Jets.
Take a look at number 91. That's going to be Richardson. He beats the double team by the guard, Eric Pierce, and the right tackle, Chantrell Henderson. They can't keep him out of the backfield. He knifes in, stuffs Dixon to prevent the 1st down. Excellent front seven here for the New York Jets, and Richardson, a former 1st-round pick. This guy was Defensive Rookie of the Year 1 season ago.
Already matching his sack output from last season. Here's Ivory, bounces to the outside. 1st down run inside the 35-yard line. Ivory, who has been so effective for them of late, able to churn out 11 yards and a Jet 1st down.
Oh, you love his ability to go ahead and bounce it. You know, he's a speed guy, but he's also got power. Now, take a look. There's a hole there. They close it up. With Brandon Spikes getting in there, he's able to bounce and get to the edge of the defense for a really nice run on the play. And this defense is the reason why the head coach, Doug Marrone, decided to go for it. They've been doing such a good job of slamming the door shut on this Jets running game, not allowing Michael Vick to make completions. And so Marrone is counting on the defense to come up with a stop.
Ivory approaching 600 yards on the ground on the season. Is the Jets' leading rusher.
Offense, 5-yard
Vick and company didn't get it off in time.
1st down.
And that'll cost him some valuable penalty yardage.
You know, Mike Vick is struggling right now in terms of just managing the game, getting the ball out of his hands, seeing and reading the defense, and then throwing the ball with great accuracy. And so he's got to begin to settle in. He knows this is a second chance for his career as well. He talked about, you know, accepting the role, backing up Geno Smith. He said, but I had always wondered what it would be like if I was provided another opportunity. He says he's excited for this opportunity. Now he's got to play well for this Jets football team.
New York Jets,
all kinds of issues.
Timeout.
And at the moment, after the penalty, they're forced to burn their 1st timeout. There's Marty Morningweg. He can't believe it.
He's asking, did they reset the clock?
It did seem to be an awfully quick whistle. Rex Ryan asking for an explanation from referee Pete Morelli. So 7-3 Buffalo. Jets trying to drive. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Delay of game penalty, and then the Jets forced to burn a timeout. 1st and 15 from the 39. Vick going through his progressions, completes over the middle. 1st reception tonight for Eric Decker. The argument on that Jet sideline, Sally, was did the play clock start prematurely? It has to be reset after a penalty to 25 as opposed to 45, but I don't think Rex is going to like that explanation, but appeared to be the right situation.
Well, they did reset it to 25, but yet they ran out of time, and they weren't prepared. And so then they had to burn a timeout, and they shouldn't have had to. They should have been prepared for it to reset to 25 and not 45.
Clock continues to run. Play action from Vick on 2nd and 6. Williams getting to him again for his 2nd sack of the night.
Mario Williams is a handful, and he's just right now tearing this offensive line apart. Look, they can't keep him out. He's just a train wrecker. Jason Morrow providing help. It looks like 2 tight ends trying to block him, and that's just not going to be enough. You have to have a greater assignment, putting big on big offensive lineman on a big man like Mario Williams. You can't not block him with the smaller tight ends.
Williams now 3rd in the NFL. 2 sacks tonight. He's got a dozen for the season. His career high 14 back in 07, his 2nd year in the league as another penalty marker whistles that play dead.
False start. Number 68 offense. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
That is Breno Giacomini, the tackle. It is 7th year out of Louisville. The Jets offense ragged to say the least.
Yeah, and you wonder why he's going to move. That's because he's lined up across from Mario Williams. Mario Williams, the 2 sacks he has in tonight's game, this Buffalo Bills defense now have 2 or more sacks in every single game this season. Offensive linemen must stay up at night trying to protect against this defensive line.
3rd and 21. Vick, that pass deflected, and it's incomplete. Vick trying to thread the needle to Decker. And an ugly drive will end with yet another punt.
Well, this is why you can go for it on the 4th and 1, Spiro, because Doug Marrone is armed with a defense like this, providing pressure on the offensive line, pressure on the opposing quarterback, and, normally pressure turns into picks. This secondary, they better get their hands ready because the way the ball's coming out of Michael Vick's hands, they're going to have a chance to pick one off tonight.
Jets have 51 yards of total offense. Fair caught by Fred Jackson. And Vick, if you've just joined us, just 4 of 11 for 25 yards. Yet the Jets only down 4. 7-3 Buffalo, just inside 6 minutes left in the first half. Let's go downstairs. Steve Tasker standing by with the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell.
Yeah, I am here with Roger. Roger, talk to me about when did you get the first shot across the bow about what might happen to this game and why it might have to be moved?
Well, Steve, we were obviously following all the developments, and our first issue was making sure that we didn't interfere with public safety and making sure that all the resources that needed to go to the people who needed help were going to be provided, and that we didn't get a football game in the way. And I spoke to the governor on Thursday, and he was clear that they had a lot of issues that they needed to resolve, and that it would be better for us we move the game. So we made plans to do that.
At its darkest point, what was the worst case scenario about what might happen to this game?
Well, the darkest point really was, again, to get out of the way and to try to move the game where the fans could have access. You see a lot of Bills fans here. It was great for them to be able to come over, and this was a logical thing for us. We obviously had football issues that we had to deal with because the team really couldn't practice most of the week, and we wanted to give them an extra day to prepare for the game.
Now, one other question just occurred to me. What about the game next week in Buffalo? Are there any second thoughts about that one?
No, we're going to obviously follow, but talking to the Bills folk, and we believe that that's going to be able to be done in a successful way without doing any stress towards the resources in Buffalo.
Thanks for giving us a moment, Roger.
Oh, this is fun. Thank you.
Travel safe.
You bet. Thank you.
Spiro.
So good news from the commissioner. The Bills hope to be back at Orchard Park next week. I think that's bad news for the visiting Cleveland Browns.
The plan is to fly home after this game tonight. Third down pass is complete. What a catch by Woods, who had the touchdown earlier. And that is a first down reception by Woods, 5 yards from Orton.
Yeah, and Orton just doing a good job. See, he's working the defense now. Started to go to his left. Came clear back to the other side as he's going through his progression, and he's going to find Woods underneath. Walls tried to undercut it, but right now Orton's making good decisions, throwing the ball very accurately, seems to be back in sync with his receivers. You can see he's spreading the ball around tonight between the receivers, tight ends, and running backs.
Bryce Brown back over the field, gives Jackson a blow. Draw play, this is Brown, the 30-year runner out of Kansas State. Across the 25, picks up 5. Tackled by Trevor Riley and the inside linebacker David Harris. Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. We'll hear from Adam Shine and the guys from NFL Monday QB. They'll get you caught up on all of Sunday's action, plus first half analysis here in Detroit. We'll get Sally's take. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. So 2nd and 5. Clock continues to run. Bills with all 3 timeouts. And leading the Jets 7-3. Little short pass to Hogan. And a New Jersey native trying to get to that first down marker. We'll see where the officials spot it. He picks up 3 and appears to be short.
Oh, Chris Hogan's doing everything he can. Look, stiff arm on Landry, then gives up the body.
Stepped out of bounds.
He stepped out of bounds before he was able to lunge forward and hit the first down mark.
Hogan, the former collegiate star at Monmouth, has really come on of late. Career high 7 catches in that loss 11 days ago in Miami. 3rd and 2. Orton pump fakes, airs it out far side. One-handed stab. Masterful play by Woods. There is a penalty marker behind the Jets secondary. If it stands, it's a 27-yard pass play.
Well, there was a hand fight between he and the defender. Looks like he's going to go against the defense.
Pass interference, number 30, defense. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, the first down.
Darren Walls, number 30, matched up against Robert Woods. You wonder why he catch it with one hand? Because look, Walls grabbing the other. He's still hand fighting. But as Walls grabs the left hand, Woods stabs it with the front hand. We're seeing catches like this all over the National Football League. These talented young group of receivers.
Wasn't quite Odell Beckham Jr.'s theatrics from last night, but what a night that Woods is putting together after that early touchdown. Orton may have gotten him offside. Little side-on delivery deflected and nearly picked. David Harris making a lunging attempt at it.
Offside, number 98, defense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Now that is on Copels. Here was the incredible catch that a lot of people, Salmon, are calling the greatest in the history of the NFL. What did you think?
Well, it's the catch seen around the world. This is the catch that broke Twitter, am I right? I mean, everyone, every athlete, whether it's gymnastics, whether it's the NBA, we now know your name, Liddell Beckham Jr. And then Robert Woods comes into tonight's game, figures, you know, I got to make my presence felt as well with the one-hand grab.
So 1st and 5 after the penalty. They mark it at the 38. Play action pass, quick strike. Short pass is caught by the tight end Chris Gragg. That's his second reception of the night. 6 yards and another Buffalo first down.
Well, they're just doing a good job of getting the ball out, dinking and dunking. And right now, we talk about Orton getting into great rhythm in this game.
This is the 2-minute warning.
That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Buffalo driving. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Final 2 minutes before halftime. 8th play of the Bills drive that started at their own 10. Orton again has time. Quick strike on the screen to Jackson. As he's run out of bounds by Davis after a pickup of 5. Another reminder, the Verizon halftime report coming up. You'll hear from Adam Shine and his mates on NFL Monday QB. They'll get you caught up around the NFL, plus first half analysis from Solomon on the Verizon halftime report coming up next. And Solly, once again, can't overstate the importance of this game. Buffalo, 2 straight losses, trying to keep pace in that postseason race.
Can't overstate this possession as they're knocking on the door, getting close to the red zone. But under 2 minutes to go, if you're Kyle Orton, you want to be able to stick the ball into the end zone here.
2nd and 5. Orton's going to take a shot near side. It's incomplete. Flag comes in right around the 14-yard line. Intended receiver was Gragg. Kyle Wilson, who has had all kinds of struggles as a Jet.
Number 20, defense. 5-yard penalty automatic. First down.
If you're Kyle Wilson, what you have to do, you got to cover with your feet. You can't jam the receiver, put your hands on the receiver. Go ahead and roll it. You can't put your hands on the receiver beyond 20 yards down the field. See at the bottom of the screen, he still has his hands on him and looking in the backfield. And by that point, the official's ready to throw the flag.
Well, they had such high hopes for this kid. First-round pick out of Boise State in 2010. But to this point has been a huge disappointment. That's Jackson. Picks up 7. Clock continues to run. Bills have all 3 timeouts, Sally, with 95 seconds left in the half.
Going back to the penalty on Kyle Wilson, if you're covering a tight end, you're a corner. You're supposed to be able to win the speed battle. It's no sense in having your hands on the tight end beyond 5 yards down the field. That's where your athleticism has to be able to take place, particularly when you're matched up against a slower tight end. So Wilson's just got to use better technique, but on that play, truly hurting the football team.
2nd and 3. Jackson again gets a blow. Brown alone set back. Orton evades the sack. Steps out of the pocket, takes a hit as he throws, end zone, and it is incomplete. Closest man to it was Chandler, the tight end, whom we had a chance to talk to as well yesterday. Chandler, like a lot of these Bills players, worried about the safety of his wife and 3 daughters. Said he got assurances from the Bills organization that they would be taken care of and safe. But he's been in Buffalo a long time. Said that he was just as shocked at the amount of snow as everyone else.
He broke 2 shovels trying to dig out. One belonged to his neighbor, so when he gets back to Buffalo, he's got to buy his neighbor a new snow shovel.
Huge 3rd and 3 play here. Bills trying to get into the end zone for the second time tonight. One quick strike on a slant inside the 10. It's Woods. First down, Buffalo.
And so much has been said about their inefficiencies down inside the red zone.
First team timeout, a 30-second timeout.
He's finding new weapons within the offense. Kyle Orton has this Buffalo Bills offense on the move.
(7-3) Buffalo, under a minute to play before halftime. Bills have 2 timeouts left. First down, goal to go from the Jet 9.
Look to the trip receiver side. Robert Woods has been the favorite target tonight for Kyle Orton.
Now the early 7-yard touchdown catch. Orton sidesteps a defender and then going backwards. And that vaunted Jet front finally able to get to Orton. Duzable getting there first. Copels meeting him in the backfield. They dump Orton for a loss of 10. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Bills forced to burn their second timeout. And he fires end zone. He's got Chandler for the Buffalo touchdown. 19 yards and Buffalo builds on its lead.
What did Rex Ryan tell us? Down inside the red zone, we have to cover against the tight end Scott Chandler. Everyone knows that Sammy Watkins is a weapon, but so is Chandler. Look, coming right here, working toward the middle. Once he gets behind the linebacker, there's your window. For a completion, Kyle Orton has his second touchdown toss of the game.
Second touchdown reception of the season for Chandler. And Carpenter's point after extends Buffalo's lead to 14-3. 43 seconds left in a game that the Bills have to have on CBS. Chandler the touchdown, 19-yard strike from Orton. What a drive, Solomon, for the Bills. 13 plays, 90 yards in just over 5 minutes.
Oh, that's getting back to the norm. They came out and they're playing for the entire city of Buffalo. They talked about it. Scott Chandler said, hey, we got to get back to playing football. We know that the playoffs is out there for us. He said, we just got to get back to having fun playing the game. And it looks like they're getting back to that here in Detroit tonight.
And I got to say, there was a lot of talk about what kind of fan turnout with the free tickets and this game being relocated almost 300 miles to the west of Buffalo. This place is nearing capacity at this point. And a lot to cheer about for these Buffalo fans. Little muffed return by Harvin, able to recover. Crosses the 25-yard line and finally brought down at around the 26. Wednesday on CBS, Dylan McDermott and Maggie Q star in a new episode of The Thriller Stalker. Wednesday, 10/9 Central, only CBS. Football actually marked out at the 16, I beg your pardon. So once again, tough field position, Solomon, and an offense that hasn't been very impressive, to say the least, tonight.
You know, they go 3 and out 28% of the time coming into tonight's game. Second most in the NFL. Michael Vick was supposed to come in and replace Geno Smith and help this offense to be more productive.
Jets with 2 timeouts left. It completes over the middle. That's Johnson out of the backfield. Ahead of the 25, picks up 9 yards. And it looks like the Jets will burn their second timeout.
And that's another thing, just being more efficient in terms of time management. It all starts with the ability to get the plays in from the sideline into the quarterback. That's why they have a headset for the quarterback, so that that information can be communicated rather quickly, so the quarterback can get in and out of the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage and get the ball snapped. With a veteran quarterback like Michael Vick, we know he hasn't played a whole lot, but they were much more efficient. You go back 2 weeks ago in that stunning victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Jets 29th in the NFL in scoring, just over 17 points per game. And tonight, just 60 yards of total offense. Vick pump fakes on 2nd and 1, airs it out, not even close. And that is incomplete, intended for Decker, who they say Solly is healthy, or is close to healthy for the first time since he tweaked that hamstring. And that time, they weren't even close. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, Decker didn't keep running. And, you know, Michael Vick expected him to keep running down the field. As Decker turned back to look for the ball. He just sort of settled into the area and didn't maintain his speed to get vertical down the field.
Well, Decker originally hurt that hamstring in training camp. Had to miss a game week 5 in San Diego and just hasn't been what the Jets had hoped. 3rd and 1. Vick over the middle. They've got the first down. That's Curley. A 4th-year target, picks up 8. And the Jets will take their final timeout. 20 seconds remaining. So much still left to be decided for this Jets organization. As Rex Ryan and company trying to evaluate what they have. Of course, who the quarterback is long term. And Jets want to see how Vick handles this situation with 20 seconds left in a very tough set of circumstances here.
And one might say that maybe the bye did not come at a good time for the New York Jets after that stunning win over Pittsburgh. The Steelers have been red hot. And Michael Vick and the New York Jets came and played lights out. Probably, maybe they should have kept playing another week so that they can continue to gain some consistency.
Jets want to stay along the sidelines here. No timeouts. Vick somehow able to escape. Tucks it away. Still hasn't crossed the line of scrimmage and just runs out of bounds. Just past the 30-yard line. He'll lose about a half yard. Roby forced him out.
You can still see he has the quickness and mobility to save himself, to extend plays. Now he's got to become more in sync. As you look at the target line for Nick Folk, they're a long way from that 38-yard line. So right now it's either a Hail Mary, throw the ball down the field, try to take it over the center of the field. Still have 1 timeout left.
Folk hit a 27-yard chip shot early. Only scoring for the Jets so far. Out of timeouts. 12 seconds left. They're down 14-3. Vick on 2nd and 12. Pump fake's going to take a shot. Far side. He's got Decker, and he missed him. And that perfectly summarized the season it has been for Rex Ryan and the Jets.
He had him open. Clear. Missed shot, missed opportunity. Take a look. He's open now. Just lay it up and allow him to run under it. That almost went through the hands of Eric Decker. That looked like he should have caught that one. And did it stretch him out? Absolutely. But we saw a great catch last night. We saw how receivers can make a play for their quarterback. I think Decker's got to come down with that. Did he overthrow him? Absolutely. But that ball looked like it went off the hands of Eric Decker.
Would have been a 69-yard touchdown, assuming Decker could keep his feet.
5-yard penalty.
And the second delay of game penalty against this offense tonight.
Prior to the flag being thrown for the play clock, Buffalo calls a timeout. Timeout Buffalo. 3rd and final team timeout. A 30-second timeout.
So Buffalo credited with their timeout. And that look from Rex Ryan says it all. And you wonder, Sally, if that hamstring plays any kind of factor. Just
well, take a look at this.
Just dropped it.
You tell me. The other hit right there. See, he pulls the hands in, but it looked like that went off, right through the hands. That's through the basket. He knows he should have had it. And yeah, you'd like to see it maybe drop in a little closer to the receiver. But I've seen Eric Decker make those catches.
False start, number 68. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's on Giacomini again. So 6 seconds left. And Rex already thinking about that halftime meeting in that Jet locker room.
You know, we talk about the X's and O's coming alive. That, you know, coaches will tell you that the scheme and the X's and O's, they don't move on that board. That players have to make plays come alive. They have to be able to go out and make plays outside of the design. And that throw, that catch, I think is a good example of it.
Jets are running out with Johnson. Gets to the 40. That's a lot of talk about in that Jet locker room at halftime. 14-3 Buffalo. A couple of touchdown throws by Orton. One to his 2nd-year receiver, Robert Woods. And another to his tight end, Scott Chandler. As we go downstairs, Steve Tasker standing by with Doug Marrone.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about how you thought your team played given the rough circumstances of the game.
Well, I think we came out pretty strong. I think there's a couple of things, penalties, we got to stop that. But defensively, we're playing well. Obviously in the red zone, we're scoring touchdowns. So, we've got to keep it up. Field position-wise, we got to start winning that battle. We haven't done a very good job there.
Any adjustments at all in the second half offensively or defensively?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go up there now. We've been making adjustments during the game, so we just try to stay one step ahead.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking a minute.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
Spiro?
All right, Steve, so Buffalo with Doug Marrone trying to stay alive in that AFC postseason chase. Up in front here in Detroit, 14-3. Back with the Verizon halftime report after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS.